Nigeria is the leading economy in Africa, and according to the Lionesses of Africa, a group of women entrepreneurs, the country is the most exciting place to be a woman entrepreneur, with many inspirational women entrepreneurs making waves in different lines of business. The likes of Tara Fela Durotoye of the House of Tara, Mo Abudu of Ebony Life TV, Olajumoke Adenowo of AD Consulting, Adenike Ogunlesi, founder of Rough and Tumble, and many more. Today on Business Trends, we're looking at women in business, and we will be discussing that with Barrister Nkiru Joy Opala, National Coordinator, Association of Nigerian Women Business Network. Afterwards, we will enter the boardroom to have an interaction with an outstanding woman entrepreneur. You'll get to meet her in the course of the program. This is Business Trends on NTA Channel 5, Abuja, your unity station. I am Shikeola Ipenaye. The program reaches you courtesy Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN.
Brother, what's happening? You're not looking so good.
Life after school has been very difficult. Honestly, see, I can't even take care of myself. Look, I can't even shave. I'm so confused right now. I set up a furniture business and it collapsed. I'm beginning to think someone is after me. It could be from the village.
I don't think anybody's after you. You see, business sometimes just need guidance and mentoring. See, have you heard of this agency called SMEDAN?
No, not at all.
See, SMEDAN is a government agency that specializes in giving business training to micro, small, medium level business owners.
Wow, John, hold on.
SMEDAN trains you, create market for you, to link you with suppliers of raw materials to manufacturers and producers to consumers. SMEDAN facilitates agricultural commodity exchange and even promote Nigerian-made goods abroad and here in Nigeria. SMEDAN connects young entrepreneurs like you to financial sources so they can have access to loan.
John, I want to be like you. Take me to SMEDAN right now. Let's go. Wait, where's the way?
Is this way?
Let's go.
SMEDAN is located at number 35, Port Harcourt Crescent off Gimbia Street, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. It also has offices in each capital of the 36 states of the Federation, or visit www.smedan.gov.ng. This message is brought to you by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN.
The program is Business Trends, and I'm being joined in the studio by an amiable woman entrepreneur. She is Barrister Nkiru Opala, the National Coordinator, Association of Nigerian Women Business Network, a coalition of over 18 women business organizations in Nigeria. She's also the National Coordinator, Nigerian Network of Women Exporters of Services. Ma, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Okay. As the saying goes, empower a woman, you empower the nation.
Very well.
How important is it for a woman to be in business, at least for financial empowerment?
I think it's very crucial for a woman to be in business. A woman needs to be in business for her to support her family. She needs to ensure that her children go to the best of the schools. She needs to be sure that they have the best of the health care. She needs to be sure that their character is built in such a way that they can survive in any society where they find themselves. And how will she do that? She will need some economic empowerment for her to support the husband in the family. It's not a kind of competition between the man and the woman. No, it's a collaborative relationship between the two for them to build a better family. And once you have better families, that means you're having better communities, better society, and a better nation. So it's really crucial, very paramount for a woman to have a means of survival, excluding that of the husband. She mustn't depend on the man for all her provisions. She has to work, and working is good for her to be in business. So it's very necessary for a woman to be in business.
Okay, by your own assessment as an operator, are you satisfied with the level of participation, women participation in business at this time?
I should say I am not yet satisfied, but it's really encouraging because in the recent times, a lot of women are coming into business. A lot of women are becoming innovative. A lot of them are becoming entrepreneurs, and it's quite encouraging with the trend they are going. And if we keep on pushing them in the very near future, will be satisfied with the level of women who will be in business. Okay. So I think it's they're on the positive angle for now.
Okay, now for Nigerian women entrepreneurs, are there special concessions by the government or by institutions to really encourage them to be in business and various intervention programs?
Yeah, very well. There are special concessions, but the fact is that most of these concessions are on paper. They are not really in practice. You hear of lots of funds being earmarked for women in business, probably women in agricultural business, women in this or that, maybe in the service sector, women in this, women in that. But when you go to assess those funds, there are so many bottlenecks. Sometimes even the banks will tell you there's no business plan. And when you look at it, you find out that some of these women are women who had even proven to have accessed funds from outside the coffers of the bankings in Nigeria. Yet when it comes to Nigeria, there are so many limitations. And then again, in our society, because naturally women are excluded in some cultures from owning properties. So they are always excluded when it comes to accessing funds because of lack of collateral. But the issue is that we believe that women are dexterous in terms of pursuit for business success. And if we could go a long way, a little longer, in trying to have a political will in enforcing some of those provisions, I guess women will have better access to credit. So what we are asking for is a kind of, one, political willpower to enforce most of those provisions. The central bank has a lot of them, a lot of funds set out for women. We'll go to them and ask for data of how many women in Nigeria had accessed those loans. You'll be so surprised that they have less than 1% of women accessing those loans. We've been dealing with them and it's not really encouraging those funds.
So what's the way forward to really tackle the issue?
Like I said, one is the political will of whoever is in leadership. And then again, there's also the need for sensitization of the officers who are positioned to give out those funds. Some of them say that, yes, these are funds, how can I recover them? They on their own, they're already scared giving out those funds, believing that the funds may never come back. So instead of going away and never coming back, they hold on to them, and it doesn't help anyone. And when you look at their records, it's just those big names who had been in business. Can we continue to empower just one person or two people in Nigeria? It wouldn't help us. By the time we set out these funds to address the needs of other women in business, they will be able to employ more. Give it to 10 women. Those 10 women will employ maybe 50 more women. But by the time you give it to just one person, he can only employ maybe 2 or 3 more. So those are the things. We need the political will force. We need sensitization of those people who are in charge of giving out those funds. We also need to build the capacities of women as well, for them to understand some of the banking rudiments that will stand as a challenge for them towards assessing those credits, so that when they have a good business plan, they have a good bankable project, they have whatever, all those obstacles the banks do put up in place. If the women are able to understand the hurdles they need to cross to assess the loans, then I think it will be better off for them.
Okay, as the national coordinator of an association that with a coalition of over 18 business women organizations, how well do these organizations assist the women in business?
Yes, we stand like the voice for the voiceless. The women, in this association, we have women from all cadres of business, different sectors of a business arena. We have them as members. So what they do is, when they come together with their problems, they table it before the association. The association sits back, it carries out a kind of research, comes up with a kind of policy document. And when they have this policy document, it becomes an advocacy tool. And they use it to go and meet whoever is in charge of whatever obstacle that is, bedeviling the growth of women in business. And with that advocacy tool, they are able to change probably provisions or policies of government to suit those particular business fields. So the association has really done a great bit of work in trying to grow the business field for women.
We realize that some women are in business and they struggle all alone. How important is it for them to join any of this coalition?
We can't go to every house to go and broadcast that there's an association like this. So the woman herself has a duty to seek for information. You don't just sit in the comfort of your house and believe that somebody will come from somewhere to come and do it for you. You need to go a step further to look out for where these things operate. And then we have our means, you know, we have our flyers, we have our booklets, our leaflets, and so on. And then we have the women in each of the coalition, member of the coalition. They are already existing associations. So we charge them to look around your society, look around your, you know, religious groups, anywhere you can meet with women. Sometimes we even go to secondary schools to begin to train them on the need to, first of all, be innovative, believe you have an intellect, believe you can do something. And then through that means, we now let them know that other people around should be told that you can't do it alone. You need to network. And it's not just networking. You network and you connect. So that when you don't stop at networking, maybe getting somebody's contact and going back to sleep. But when you collect the contact, you go extra mile to connect and be sure that you get information. So what we do is from time to time, we carry out open trainings. We just advertise and say, okay, we'll send SMS and say, women, come to this, come to that. And we have a lot of platforms on the social media where we now tell them, if there's any woman you know, bring in her number, we'll get her involved. At least by the time she reads through the mails that come into that platform, she's able to understand that she needs to go and join one group or the other.
Okay, and that takes us to the issue of mentorship.
Yes.
We have lots of women in business that ordinarily should be a motivational factor for other women, people they should look up to and really want to be like them. How much of mentorship do this starting up women receive from those that are already big guns in the business world?
Yeah, well, as it is, I wouldn't say it's really, really encouraging. In our society, in our organizations, we have mentors, the ones who had gotten to somewhere. We ask them to take up some women and mentor them. Most of them had been doing that, but when we check the number, we can't say it's really too encouraging because one, some of them still get scared, you know, mentoring the other women. So we began a kind of sensitization amongst those of them who had gone up. And some of them got to a level that some of the products they do, they even give out to those women, teach them how to go about them, tell them to assess markets with their own products. And as they assess with their own products, when they begin to see that people are getting interested in having such products, they teach them what to do for them to become owners of the product and not just depending on somebody as becoming maybe a retailer or something. But this time around, you become a manufacturer of such. Then we now got into the service industry. Some of them who had already had established firms where they work, they have designed a means where they take up 2, 3, 4, 5 women and say for a period of 5 months, they will come to me free of charge. I'll give them office, I'll mentor them, I'll coach them on how to become the best in this my field. Particularly we have like in the legal field, we have some of them who come up, once they see the new wigs, they take them in and tell them, you mustn't depend on maybe just a white collar job. There are so many ways of a lawyer surviving in the society. They coach them and train them through. We have the people who are in the catering services. They take those women and train them. Before you know it, they are establishing their own catering firms, and that is how they have been growing. Then we also have the one that we do monthly, where we now call them, we call it PIMP. You know, somebody comes with a kind of program for that particular month. So we call one of the established woman in the society and say, okay, your duty is to train these women free of charge. So when they gather, she comes and tells them how to start first thinking about business, identifying where your passion is, looking for how to source for funds, and then knowing how to probably put a business plan and be focused and tell yourself, in the next 5 years, this is where I intend to be. So in such way, they mentor them monthly. So what we do is we still advertise free of charge and say, please come. We'll give you the information you need and mentor you through.
Okay, we hope to see more of such mentorship. And on a final note, just use this platform to, you know, say some words of encouragement to those women in business.
I tell you, Nigerian women, I'll keep saying kudos to you because I know we've worked with you. You are filled with intelligence, and we are very proud of you. You as an individual, as a Nigerian woman, you need to tell yourself the basic truth that you have to go extra mile in order to get to where the others had gotten. So we say, please, we love you, and we want you to continue growing in your business.
Thank you very much, Ma, for coming on the
Thank
program.
you so
We hope
much.
to have you some other time
Thank
for
you.
other discussions.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Barrister Nkiru Joy Opala, the National Coordinator of Association of Nigerian Women Business Network and the National Coordinator of Nigerian Network of Women Exporters of Services. She has given us a very useful insight into women in business in Nigeria. The program is Business Trends. It will continue in a moment. Up next is From the Boardroom, where we will be meeting an amazing entrepreneur, Dayo Benjamin Laniji, who shares her thoughts on doing business and making a success of it. She is an ace master compere and entrepreneur of global standard, a world-class brand in event management, hospitality, tourism, and entertainment industries. I bet she has all it takes to be an inspiration to would-be entrepreneurs. Business Trends crew came in contact with this radiant, elegant, and beautiful managing director of Doxa Digital Nigeria, a brand that has grown to become a one-stop shop for all event needs, ranging from indoor events to mega stadium-size events. Doxa provides technical services to events by way of professional sound reinforcement, professional lighting, mega screens, LCD projectors, computers, and many more for specific event needs. Doxa's business is to ensure total coordination of seminars, conventions, exhibitions, and all categories of events. Most importantly, the business venture has kept many energetic young Nigerians in gainful employment. Let's get to meet the brain behind this success. I would just want to share from your wealth of experience doing business in Abuja. We want to know how you started, what you went through, and how you've been able to attain the feat you have attained at the moment.
This year will be 17 years old in the entrepreneurial market space. Here in Abuja, we are homegrown, city-born, FCT Abuja brand, distinctively Nigerian, but most importantly, a global reference when it comes to enterprise in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We're also what is called a couple's business idea. My husband, who actually is my CEO, I being the MD of Doxa Digital. Doxa actually emerged out of a necessity that was derived from a very embarrassing moment when I was invited to host here in Abuja an event for the Royal Netherlands Embassy. I was opening up their office on Usuma. I had to arrange for equipment to do their song, their national anthem. And I went, hired equipment somewhere, and unfortunately, or do we say fortunately now, because of the advent of what followed, the microphone was dead. And it was so embarrassing. When I got home, my husband was like, what happened? And I said, I felt like the ground should open and I should just walk out of there. No, you know what? I was certain I didn't want to die. But I just felt like there should have been some underground to get out of the Royal Netherlands Usuma location to my house. And well, that was it. My husband just said, God help us, and when he does, I'm going to buy you equipment that will go with your voice. That investment from my husband is what gave birth to our entrepreneurial dream and the diversity of operations that we have found ourselves so privileged to have engaged from the capital city. We've continued to grow. We've come to the place where we've gotten past the 5-year deadline, when if a startup enterprise does not live past the 5th year, if you can grow past year 5, you will keep growing. So one thing I've learned is, you know who a big shot is? It's just a small shot who kept on firing. You keep firing, and one day you'll have the whole place on fire. And the beautiful thing about fire is this: when it's the right kind of fire, it gets everybody's attention. Everybody, you have helpers, everybody comes when there's a fire. And the best fires are live. You keep them alive, you keep them going, and never let your fire go out. Never let your passion die.
The business has actually grown really tall, and it's a product of faith to pull through, even when challenges come, as you said. Can you share some of those challenges with us? Because some people believe you must have sailed through because there were no challenges, you just had it smooth all through.
Oh, no. We've had perfect storms. And where it's just the testimony of having not just survived the storm, but become the owner of the storm. So great event managers will all know that storms must come. And that's why you and no other person was employed to take on that storm. We've learned to make sure things like the generating the power supply in and out is properly taken care of. Also learn to articulate agreements. Don't be sentimental in business. It's something I had to learn. People will trust you, you trust people. But people will exploit your trusting them, especially when it comes to money. The worst thing to do with an event is to package an event, deliver it to your client, and you didn't collect your money. It's then your client will suddenly remember that, the way the rice actually was presented. So it's one thing I've learned is you must be transactional, and you must be completely transactional when you're working with clients. Whatever their desperation may be, you're still there with a human face, but there needs to be an understanding, a contract, a term of reference that binds them to payment and also binds the event coordinator, the conference technical provider, to delivering the expectation. You must be clear about those expectations.
You know, you spoke about passion. There's so many people out there, they don't even know how to find their passion, yet they want to do business.
I don't know that that is a fair statement, because I see a lot of youth running with passion, with their ideas, with their dreams. It's the discovery, really, is the courage to deliver what is in you, to step out and do it. It's the DNA of the Nigerian youth. Even old people are still running with ideas. You know, in Nigeria, it's something else. Nigerians are full of ideas. If you're a youth in this country right now, there are too many opportunities. Do you know youth corpers right now have an opportunity when they've finished with their 1-year youth corps to take their youth corps certificate, put it down as their collateral for a business idea that the government will invest a certain level of millions in. All they need is drop your youth corps certificate. That's all. They didn't ask you for car, they didn't ask you for house. This is for women. My goodness, with the SDGs going on, women right now, we are swimming. In fact, right now what I'm trying to do is just collate all of the opportunities for women in business. There's too much out there. The UN is backing you up. Your government is backing you up. You've got all kinds of women initiatives happening, popping up everywhere. Any woman who is not doing business is a lazy woman.
Now, what's the place of education in entrepreneurship?
It's key to everything. And when I say education, I'm not talking about the fact that, oh, I went to primary school, I went to university, I went to University of Technology or something. No. The personal education that comes from your values and integrity, good home training, will take you far. However, with education, learn to teach yourself. Read. We don't read. like we need to read in this country. We spend so much time, yes, on our gadgets, but what are you spending time engaging when you're on those gadgets? There's too much opportunity in Abuja. Everything in Abuja, for any Nigerian, anywhere in the world, tells you you are entitled to your own piece of the Abuja. It's not a cake, it's not a pie, but the Abuja rock. Do you know the meaning of Aso? It means victory. So don't tell me that you can't make it here. You were born to make it if you were born Nigeria. In this city, Abuja, your inheritance in business is waiting for you. Come get it.
I believe it's been worth the while and hope to have you join me again on another edition of the program next week, same time, on the same station. Till then, I'm Shikiola Ipinaye. Bye for now.